15 Things Not to Do in Puerto Rico. From its towering mountains to its world-class beaches, and everywhere in between, Puerto Rico is a welcoming tropical destination. The good news is that when you travel to this Caribbean island, you'll almost assuredly have a good time, no matter what you've chosen to do while on your trip. As with any destination, it's also important to know 15 things not to do in Puerto Rico to make your trip more memorable. Number 1. Don't expect everyone to speak English. Because Puerto Rico is affiliated with the United States doesn't mean that all the people there speak English. Spanish is still the primary language. In resorts you shouldn't have a problem, but when you're visiting the cities and towns, you'll likely run across a lot of people who don't speak English, so it's a good idea to learn a few basic Spanish phrases. Number 2. Don't wear flashy jewelry, or pull out your smartphone. Because poverty is something of an issue in Puerto Rico, there is an element of crime in the area. In highly trafficked tourist areas, the chances of being hit by violent crime rises. That said, it's easily avoidable if you simply use your brain. Don't flash your valuables around in public, and make sure to steer clear of tourist areas at night. Number 3. Don't speak ill of Puerto Rican statehood. Even if you think that the United States shouldn't incorporate Puerto Rico as its 51st state, keep it to yourself. The people and government of Puerto Rico have invested a lot of time, effort, and passion into making the argument that they should be properly folded into the Union, as opposed to being kept as an unincorporated territory. So, if the topic comes up, just say you support statehood, or change the subject. Number 4. Don't count on public transportation. Buses run infrequently. Uber doesn't exist. Taxis will charge you an arm and a leg. Your best bet for getting around the island is to rent a car. It will be extremely expensive, but the extra control over your travel just might be worth it. Number 5. Don't go wandering through El Yunque National Forest. Any trip to Puerto Rico should undoubtedly include a journey to El Yunque, the country's famous tropical rainforest reserve. No matter how tempting it might be to leave the designated path while you're there, don't do it. Tourists get lost in El Yunque all the time, and some have even ended up dead. Be careful. Number 6. Don't spend a lot of time in some of these places. The areas of La Perla, Old San Juan, and El Morro are known to have a higher than average rate of drug trafficking, as well as the vagrancy and crime that goes along with it. Unless you have business in one of these places, it's best to just keep on moving. Number 7. Don't assume the Puerto Rican person next to you is unarmed. Nothing against an abiding love of firearms, but you should know that guns are super popular in Puerto Rico, and lots of people have them. That also means that gun crime is an issue in the country. Accidental shootings also occur every so often, because Puerto Ricans still enjoy shooting their guns in the air. Number 8. Don't visit without getting vaccinated. While you can go to Puerto Rico without them, it's a good idea to make sure that you're taking care of your health. The CDC recommends that visitors to Puerto Rico be immunized for hepatitis A and B, and typhoid. Dengue fever is also a possibility, so it's a good idea to wear insect repellent, as well. Number 9. Don't always expect Caribbean sunny weather. The lush greens forests of Puerto Rico don't feed only from all year long sunshine. On the contrary, we get rain all year long. Especially from July to November. This helps keeping the local green humid forest alive. But that doesn't mean that it won't rain during the other months. This said, check the weather forecast constantly and plan accordingly. Number 10. Avoid interacting with the wildlife. Don't be surprised if you find yourself surrounded by sea cows, manatees, whales, or sea turtles. Many tourists come to be in contact with these exotic animals. Unfortunately, this is one of the main things you need to avoid in San Juan, or at least try to minimize it. If you find yourself near these animals, interacting with them may incur in elevated fines. Number 11, don't forget tipping. Finally, leave a tip. Waiters are paid very low wages and earn most of their income from tips. This is not necessary to mention to US nationals, since it is natural there, but is important to keep in mind for all the other nationalities. Undoubtedly, Puerto Rico is not the cheapest place to visit, but please don't take it out on the waiter, who just tried the best to offer you a great culinary experience. The expected tip is at least 15% of the total. Number 12, don't get your metrics twisted. One thing that may strike you as confusing once in Puerto Rico is the fact that the island uses a mix of both the metric and US customary measurement systems. For example, distances are marked in kilometers, while speed limits are marked in miles per hour. Additionally, gas is sold in liters rather than gallons. This can be confusing, especially if you only have familiarity with one of these systems. Download a unit converter to your phone, if you're concerned this may be an issue for you. Number 13, don't be in beach attire everywhere. Don't think that you can walk around or stroll in the city, or eat in restaurants just wearing what you would at the beach, such as shorts, bikinis or flip-flops, as the city is quite cosmopolitan, or urban and demands more of a suitable attire, though not exactly a dress code. In addition, majority of Puerto Ricans are Catholic, and may be more traditional in that regard when it comes to dressing up when you're not at the beach. Number 14, don't forget car safety. Don't leave your valuables in your car, as car theft is a big problem in Puerto Rico. If you have to bring your car, or your rental, make sure you park it in a secure and well-lit area, especially at night, as carjackings can also happen. Avoid known crime areas as much as possible, keeping all doors locked and valuables safely stowed out of sight when driving to avoid getting marked. Number 15, don't hurry when eating. When it comes to eating or dining etiquette, do not hurry through meals, or even coffee, as these are generally meant to be unhurried activities. Remember the laid-back attitude in the island, and when entering a cafe or restaurant, it is only polite to greet those inside while saying buen provecho, which means enjoy your meal. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel.